My name is Jyri. I'm an entrepreneur and investor. I started a couple of internet companies that were later acquired by Silicon Valley larger internet companies, and so I moved to work out of there, and I now run a venture capital fund called Yes VC. I lead a very busy life. I have 3 children, as well as a work that happens mostly in the US West Coast time zone. So particularly when I'm in Finland, I sleep very little. I oftentimes start work at night, and then I will work late into the night, and then I need to manage family in the mornings, and so that leaves very little time for myself. And so the main challenge I had was I have always played competitive sports when I was younger, but about 10 years ago I suffered a back injury that made it very difficult for me. Essentially every time I would start a new sport and begin playing it, at some point my back would go out, and that would require months of slow and boring rehabilitation. And so I was never really able to enjoy sports. And the main thing that Selkrig has helped me with, I think, is to come up with a consistent training rhythm, despite my busy life, that I have been able to stick to, which other trainers that I have used in the past actually haven't succeeded in. But that's resulted in me slowly building up the kind of core strength and also flexibility that now enables me to play padel competitively, which I really enjoy. And so it has sort of opened up this new part of my life that I was really missing for many years, which is that I feel like I can compete and really give it all I got on the court without worrying that I'm going to break myself, sprain my back again. In the last few months, we've been working actually on a new kind of program that involves more of a kind of deeper flexing, I would say, stretching. And what I've noticed that it's done is it's actually helped open up. I've had very tight hips, for instance, which really in kind of like normal strength training, I don't think are addressed very well. And I've been really happy that, I've seen this remarkable progress in just being able to actually be more flexible, which isn't really something that I ever thought was a problem until I realized, wow, this could actually be the cause of some of those issues I've had in the past, where when I work out or I do sports really hard, I then end up, busting my back. And so the ability to have more kind of like a holistic approach rather than just kind of grunt strength building has been probably the biggest win. So my absolute love-hate relationship, that the deepest is with pull-ups, which obviously everyone knows. Maybe because my 14-year-old son will beat me at pull-ups, and so I sometimes do pull-ups with him competitively. And so now I've just decided that I'm going to at least improve myself, even if I can never beat him. Well, I think I have actually recommended Selkrig to a lot of my friends. One of the good parts about this gym is that it's more than a gym, it's a community of people who are all kind of our friends also outside of the gym. That makes a big difference because it means that it's really fun to come back here, and it feels like that's a big part of training, is that you have this consistency and a feeling that every time you've worked out, there's a reason to come back, and that you enjoy the people, not just the activity. And so that's probably the major win, I think, relative to other gyms that I've worked out, is just that it's full of nice people. Well, I think that the one thing that has been really important for me is that I have a trainer who I notice has like a genuine interest in not just completing a program, but actually studying what's going on in my body, because they're able to observe me, and then they're able to ask questions that I find are really smart, and then have actually helped me recognize things about the way I work out that otherwise I probably would have missed. And so having a trainer who's really curious and isn't just prescribing something that you then need to execute, I think is probably the biggest difference for me.